This one is a competitive card game where the goal is to try and locate and secure 3 of your opponent's agents that are going to be hidden in a variety of places within either their deck, their hand, their discard pile, or even the board itself. In order to find these cards, you're going to be using actions in order to search all those respective areas, and depending on where you want to search for your opponent's agent, you're going to be interacting with one of the columns in their tableau. Of course, players are going to be putting different cards into these lanes, and they could create different obstacles or additional costs if you do want to try and search through one of those lanes. But if you're able to pay those costs and your opponent doesn't stop you in some sort of clever way, depending on the lane that you choose, you're going to be searching either their deck, hand, discard pile, or one of the cards in the tableau itself. But the amount of cards that you get to search through that deck is going to be equal to the amount of heat that you've accumulated in the game so far, which is going to be increasing every time your opponent tries to do the search action to you. The game starts by each player choosing a character card, which is going to be determining your starting resources, as well as your hand and action limits, and any special abilities that that character might have. Each player is also going to have tokens to indicate the number of actions that they still have left, and anytime you take a turn, you're going to be flipping one of those action tokens over, spending it to do different actions like drawing another card into your hand, gaining a resource, or placing cards face down into your grid, and you can reveal them later when it's opportune for you in order to enact whatever effect or abilities that card might have. But the last and main action you can do is to pay the cost in order to delve into those different areas of your opponent's deck, hand, discard pile, or board in order to try and locate those agent cards. As I mentioned, when you do this, you're going to be granting heat to your opponent, which makes that action more powerful for them. But depending on where you search, you're going to be drawing that many cards from that location. And if you do find an agent, you can pay the cost to secure that agent and take it into your possession, and if you're able to do that 3 times, then you win the game. But if the cards you find are not agents, you can just simply pay a cost in order to force your opponent to trash those cards if you don't want them to ever use them. But you can also just optionally choose to do nothing and send those cards back from where they came. The end of the round is triggered once all players have used their actions up, and then you're going to be refreshing your actions, gaining an additional card and resource, and then unexhausting any of your used cards in your tableau. The cards you have in your hand can also have different actions and effects that you can use to augment your actions at any point in the game. So if you're performing an action or your opponent's performing an action and you have a card that can interact with any of those actions in any way, you can always just choose to do that. But the game continues like this back and forth until one player is able to locate and secure 3 of their opponent's agents, and the first player to do that wins the game. And if you do want to check this one out, I will have it linked in the description down below.